This is going to be pathetic to say out loud, but I was about to go to bed, but then just kept thinking about a tweet that I read 3 days ago that's just been living in my head rent free, and I got upset again. It's like an itch that I have to keep scratching. It doesn't go away. You know how a lot of people will get into like a minor argument or see something or hear something that makes them upset, and then they'll start replaying that moment in their head over and over again while they're in the shower, coming up with the perfect responses and comebacks to it, and just have like this full-blown debate in their own mind about it? That's what I keep doing with this tweet that I read 3 days ago. It's not even a big deal either, but it just keeps crawling under my skin. It's like that scene in The Mummy where that little scarab thing goes into that guy's body and just keeps crawling around. That's what this tweet is doing to me. It's fucking eating me alive. I just keep replaying in my head the time that I read that and every thought that I keep having about it. So I'm just gonna make a whole video talking about it. I made a tweet vaguely addressing it. I'm not going to show the tweet itself for obvious reasons. I don't want anyone to harass the people that were involved in the thread. So let's go ahead and stuff this turkey. To break it down into a nutshell, the thread was arguing that teabagging in video games is sexual assault and traumatizing. They even briefly told a story that they watched their teammate get teabagged and it completely ruined them. Also, a quick shout out to the Galaxy Brain Harvard scholarship winning Millennium math problem solving turbo genius that came into the thread to make a little cameo and say that it's a necrophilic act that should be criminalized. Hey, big ups there, buddy. Where do I even begin? Chapter 1. It's a fucking video game. It's not real. It's not used in a sexual way or with any actual sexual context to it. No one's teabagging their opponent in a game and then ejaculating into their britches about it. Unless, of course, they're extremely happy that they outplayed somebody or something. No one's gonna get teabagged and feel violated, or at least they shouldn't if they're grounded in reality. You can feel mad that you're getting teabagged, like, damn, not only did I get my fucking cheeks spread open, but now I'm also getting teabagged by this douchebag. You can be mad about that because that's the whole point. It's a taunt. Also, the purpose of a teabag isn't even sexual in nature. It's just a form of taunting. It's no different than in Fortnite busting out an emote when you clap cheeks, just getting you with one of these, and then hitting the old default dance in Orange Justice or whatever. That's the same thing that teabag is used for in games that don't have emotes that allow you to do it. And in Fortnite, I'm sure it happens too, because it's just a classic taunt. It's supposed to be tilting. That's why so many games have so many tools for it, whether they're emotes or maybe even sprays. Like, let's say, God forbid, you've made some mistakes and you're still playing Overwatch, but you make a good play in Overwatch and you're feeling good, so you spray sorry on the ground right next to your victim. Now they see that and now they're upset. You've taunted them. There's just so many ways of taunting, and teabagging is one of them in games that don't typically have it. For example, Halo. Halo doesn't have any emotes. You're not going to see Master Chief busting out the gritty after getting a kill to taunt you. All you can do in Halo for taunting is the teabagging. So if someone wants to be toxic or try and put you on tilt and ruin your mentality during the game and make you upset, they'll teabag you instead of using an emote like they would in Fortnite or something. But it's not sexual. They're not going over there and being like, can't wait to dip my fucking greasy, filthy sack on this person's face and make them feel all yucky and violated. Ooh, I have so much power over you and I'm so dominant. Look at me drop my scrotum on your mouth. No one's doing that. They're doing it as a, just killed you, now I'm gonna make you feel silly. Here comes a taunt. If you truly believe that teabagging is the equivalent to real-world sexual assault, then you should also believe that shooting and killing in those games is equivalent to real-world murder. But most people don't believe that because it's a fucking video game. It's in the cyberspace, goddammit. No one's actually getting murdered in Fortnite or Roblox or anything like that. When you shoot and kill someone in Roblox, no one has actually died except for some fucking pixels on the screen. But for some reason, that same basic level of logic doesn't apply to the teabag in Valorant, I guess. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, I want to make it clear. For a lot of games, they really discourage teabagging, but not because they think it's sexual assault, but because it's poor sportsmanship. So I know Killer Instinct, for example, has banned it. Killer Instinct is a fighting game, and I don't know if they still have it banned, but I do remember there was a time where it was banned, and in Killer Instinct in the fighting game, if you crouch up and down a lot after beating your opponent, Killer Instinct would ban you from competitive play, at least as I recall it. So that's totally fine. If you don't want people to be taunting or being disrespectful, then by all means, ban the teabagging and the emoting and the shooting of bodies after killing them. I think that's fine. you're totally within your right to do that. I'm not arguing that everyone needs to be taunted and teabagged every time they're killed. I'm just making the simple, sane argument that getting teabagged in a video game is not getting sexually assaulted in real life. Now, to go a bit further, I do think there is a bit of merit to the claim that in VR chat or virtual reality things are a bit different. There are some creepy fucking dudes in VR chat, and I absolutely think that there is potential and have been a couple of examples of really creepy dudes getting very handsy. Handsy is a term I'm using loosely because it's VR, but getting really weird and up in people's face and personal space in the virtual world, and I do think that can border on sexual harassment and can actually make people feel violated because you are really like in there. VR is a pretty different experience than to like a Valorant. So I can absolutely understand and sympathize with someone that might go into virtual reality space and encounter some grimy, grody, Cheeto dusted fingered, shit-stained, underweared, mouth-breathing, creepy guy that follows them around and makes disgusting remarks about how he's touching himself while also touching your avatar in the game, never leaving you alone, and just being all up in your shit, then yeah, I completely agree that is like actual sexual harassment and all of that. But that's completely different than watching your teammate get teabagged in Valorant. I can absolutely see someone being deeply disturbed by having an encounter with someone like that in virtual reality, but I can't see anyone actually believing that watching a teabag in Valorant is watching real sexual assault and being traumatized by it. That is just so unbelievably silly to me. It really is. This just screams like it was somebody looking for something to make an issue out of, and they thought that this would be low-hanging fruit that some people would agree with them on, and some people did, but overall, I think most people can recognize that there's a massive difference between a video game taunt and a real-world, traumatic, life-ruining experience. It's so disgusting to me, honestly, to even compare a Valorant teabag to a legitimate sexual assault event. It just feels so vile to take something that serious and bring it down to this level and make it so petty. It blows my mind. This is just something that rubbed me the wrong way since the second I started reading the thread. Obviously, it's been 3 fucking days that it's just been marinating in my brain, so much so that I've now made an entire video ranting about it. But yeah, that whole thread did actually spark a couple of news outlets picking it up and saying that there's a debate on whether or not video game teabagging is actual sexual assault. And I think that's such a disingenuous representation of what happened. It wasn't a debate. It was some people with the worst takes of all time, and then most people employing common sense that no, teabagging in a video game is not equivalent to a real-world sexual assault. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit and just get it all out of my system. That's about it. See ya.